Hey, welcome back to the Disney Plus Everyday Challenge and Go Eagles. Eagles. Yeah. This is Invincible from 2006. It is an hour and 45 minutes long. Sorry, it says 2005 here. Why did it tell me 2006 here on IMDb? Either way, it's not the Amazon Prime animated series based on the Robert Kirkman comic book. So, just so we're clear on that, that is definitely not something that's going to appear on Disney Plus anytime soon. Not that it's bad or anything. It's just just doesn't really fit within the Disney framework of things. It's very violent and very R-rated. So I really like it a lot. Go check it out on Amazon Prime. It's a good comic and it's a good series. But that said, this is Invincible. This is a movie that's about a guy named Vince Papale. Papale. Why did I had this memorized before this whole thing because they kept saying it. There was an issue as to how to pronounce his name when he was being interviewed. Papale, Vince. Anyway, he is a blue collar, just average Joe out of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, South Philly, and he loves the Eagles. He and his friends, they're not college football boys. They played football in the yard. They found a grassy field and they beat the crap out of each other while throwing a ball around. That's what they did. Rain or shine, night or day. That's what they did. And they were usually drunk while doing it, or at least sometimes. I don't know. I imagine they were drunk. It fits. You have to understand, I'm from Pennsylvania. I grew up in this era. Yes. I was too young to understand know that this man existed, regardless of how regionally close he was to where I was. But I know that my first football team that I liked was the Eagles because of, everybody technically liked them. They either liked the Eagles or the Steelers, usually, one way or the other. But even though I cared for the most part nothing about football or sports, I was too busy playing with my Star Wars action figures and watching the A-Team, and I just had no interest in watching football. But, Disney is so good at doing these underdog tales, these sports underdog tales. There's a ton of them. Remember the Titans, Miracle, just, whatever sport it is, they usually they make a movie out of it, and about somebody who is beaten down, who's told they're never going to make it, who they don't have the talent, they can't measure up, everything's against them. Usually it's racism, usually it's just they're just not liked for whatever reason, and guess what? They overcome all adversity and rise to the top. And okay, I spoiled that for you because honestly, what else were you expecting? I didn't really spoil that because you had to know going in that this down and out guy named Vince, played by Mark Wahlberg, who in the mid 70s, there's a lot of strikes. They're in the middle of a gas crisis, and they're just nothing is going good in urban South Central Philadelphia in the 70s for the blue collar workers. His dad is on strike. His best friends are on strike. He can't keep a job. He does a little bit of teaching on the side. He bartends thanks to a friend of his who gives him hours when he can. But for the most part, his wife leaves him not even 5 minutes into the film because they're just not cutting it anymore. And yeah, everything's going wrong for Vince. But when Greg Kinnear, played by Dick Vermeil, if you're in California, Dick Vermeil from his time with UCLA, and I did not know that until I watched this movie. I knew the name, but I honestly, again, don't follow college or the NFL. But, I know enough to be dangerous. That's about it. Anyway, Dick got picked he got hired to coach the Eagles, and like I said, played by Greg Kinnear. He goes on and he decides to do something a bit controversial. Says there's tryouts for anybody, since the Eagles are sucking so bad year after year, game after game, season after season. Yeah, they're just nothing's happening. And in almost pretty much a promo kind of stunt, and says, you know what, anybody, you're an Eagles fan, you think you can play? Got the chops? Come on down and we'll give you guys a shot. And all of Vince's friends are all just like, you got to go do it. You're so fast. You can really play. Just go do it. And he's like, nah, I can't do that. That's just absurd. That's weird. I can't do that. And everything else is going on. Everything else is, and even if I go there, I'm just going to get rejected. And other people are telling him, some of his friends, even his father, who was supportive to a degree, and already also down and out. They're just like, you know what? You don't need any more disappointment in your life. You don't need another person telling you suck. So why try? And that's the big overall lesson in this. That's, if you're ever going to be hit over the head with a lesson in this film, it's gonna be that. There's even a guy at the bar, friend of his, he plays football with, who is constantly crapping on him, pretty much saying horrible things to him, just taking shots at him, even about his wife leaving him and things like that. And you just kind of wonder what is going on in that guy's head. Why is he just so down on Vince? And he's got his own problems. He's got his own feelings, and it's worked out. But overall, without me telling you the entire movie, you get Vince. He gets picked. Of course, he gets picked, and he makes it through different cuts, and cut after cut, and he's pretty sure he's going to get cut at some point, so he's not getting his hopes up. But of course, he makes it to the Eagles. Otherwise, you wouldn't be looking at this picture. Like, spoiler. It's all about that. So along the way, he meets a young woman who also helps to bartend for her cousin who runs the bar. Michael Rispoli, which anything you've seen him in, he's always usually pretty awesome. And Elizabeth Banks plays Janet, the future Mrs. Vince Papille. So yeah, she been 70s hair Elizabeth Banks. All right, so she's one of the few females in this entire film. This is very testosterone driven. The only other female in this is pretty much the wife who left him. So and a neighbor. And let's just say that one of my favorite points in this film, it's not really a story spoiler, but it's cute, is the fact that once he gets picked, one of his friends calls him up and says, hey, your interview is going to be on TV in a minute. You should turn on the TV. Well, his wife left him and took everything, and there's no TV in his apartment. So he goes next door to the little old lady who's probably, at this point, my age. It's the 70s. He's like, hey, can I come in and watch your TV for a few minutes? And she's like, okay, sure. And the next shot is the TV, and it shows him being interviewed, and she looks surprised. But where's Vince? He's on the couch with a big bowl of pasta. And she's an Italian woman who has a young man in her house, and of course, he gets a big bowl of pasta just to eat while watching TV of himself for a few minutes. It's a requirement, and it's pretty dang sweet. So yeah, I mean, when it comes to Philadelphia fans specifically, the fact that you can make a Disney film about Philadelphia Eagles fans at all is pretty much an achievement in itself. They're known for being a little bit belligerent, a little bit outspoken, and they express themselves with batteries thrown at your face. Not all of them. No, not all of them. But it's the general hardcore downtown core audience. Yeah. They don't necessarily have the best seats in the place, but they have a presence. So, it's a badge of honor, I think. You think New York fans might be rough. Philadelphia, city of brotherly love. Yeah. Do not meet them in a dark alley after you've beaten their Eagles in a game. Just saying. Just saying. So, yeah, it's all told. This is actually a really fun movie. Just seeing the camaraderie between the guys, the support they give each other, even some who don't give support. But it's not gonna give you any big surprises. It's not gonna be any strange left turns in this. You're gonna get what you expect, and that's not a bad thing. It's an uplifting tale. When you look at this, the final sort of scene that kind of cements his place that they build toward, you're like, did that really happen? I'm like, okay, I think they show some clips at the end. That whole thing they do with movies where like, this is where they went on to and did this and did that. They do Dick Vermeil and they do Vince. They talk about what they went on to do afterwards. But I think they show the footage of him in that final play that is that big triumphant play. It doesn't play out exactly the way they filmed it for the movie, but it's a dramatic license kind of thing. It's okay. It's okay. It's not a problem. So, yeah, it's if you ever want that kind of film that's like that inspirational sports film, and you're a big football fan, of course you're going to watch this. You're going to enjoy it, and it's Wahlberg, so he's pretty much just, hey, I'm beefy, and there's one point that they do a slow motion shot of him really getting hit, and that's pretty amazing. This is before they could do all the CGI face stuff and everything else replacement. So yeah, it's a guy in a Giants football jersey and just knocking him to the ground hard, and it's pretty interesting to see. It has a great cast, like I said. Everybody I mentioned, Kirk Acevedo, I have to mention. I know him from Fringe and 12 Monkeys and a whole bunch of other sci-fi nerdy stuff that I love, but it's great to see him playing the best friend of Wahlberg in this. Michael Kelly, geez, so many. Everybody puts on, I mean, again, this is not meant to be an Academy Award winning drama. It's a good, fun family film. Like I said, I can't think of anybody other than Disney being able to make a movie about the fans of the Philadelphia Eagles. So yeah, there's no swearing that I can recall at all. There's no inappropriate gestures or violence beyond football, and maybe a few guys throwing punches when they're drunk and they're not getting along. But yeah, this is a family film, a film that the family can watch together, and it's not going to freak anybody out. Somehow Disney did it. It's pretty amazing, but somehow they did it, and well, good on them. I was going to randomize this and have it randomly pick something, but I realized I missed a premiere this week. Kind of got ahead of myself. And I was so focused on the latest episode of Ahsoka that I didn't realize that Wednesday, I believe, Elemental from Pixar premiered. So yeah, normally I do the new movie releases on the day they premiere. I totally missed it. I did. You know what? Just like this summer in the theaters, they did really bad at promoting. Just letting people know that it's happening at all, that it exists. So shame on you, Disney, for just sort of sneaking that out there and not really giving a whole lot of preparation. So I've already seen the movie in the theater, but I'm going to talk about it tomorrow after I watch it again. So tomorrow, Elemental from Pixar is what we're watching next on the Disney Plus Everyday Challenge. I'll see you back here tomorrow with that.